Okay, back with some Detective D. So last time we got onto the flower boat because we are investigating the death of Shi Wenyin. She was murdered like Zulin Fei, strangled, and then her heart was cut out after she was dead. And our mission here, like we have a huge mission here. So our job is to figure out who's committing the murders, or like whom. Like it could be several people, could be one person, who knows. Um, See what connection is between the deaths, if there is one, and whether this is some plot to take down the Empress, and if there's any connection to General Zhang. So, without further ado, let us begin. Okay, so we're on the boat now. Now, let's see. We have 5 people. Now, this is a re-recording. I actually had gotten pretty far, and then the game crashed on me, so yay. So I actually know what's going to happen next, but I'm going to pretend to be surprised just for your amusement. Excuse me. I'm looking for General Zhang. Move along. Don't you see I'm in the middle of something? Okay, let's talk to the courtesan. Excuse me. I'm looking for General Zhang. I haven't seen him. Try asking Madame Ling. Where's Madame Ling? Excuse me. Do you know where I can find General Zhang? Why are you asking me? I don't know where he is. Excuse me. Do you know where I can find General Zhang? The General? I think I may have seen him on the upper deck earlier. Okay, wine waiter. Excuse me. Oh, good evening, sir. Can I offer you a drink? This is the finest rice wine money can buy. No wine for me. I'm only here to speak to General Zhang. Have you seen him? I'm sorry, General who? I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. You seem distracted. Is something wrong? Well, sir, it's just that I have the worst spot of bad luck today. The absolute worst. This afternoon, as I was getting ready for work, I noticed that my uniform was missing. I turned my house upside down looking for it, but it was nowhere to be found. When I told Madame Ling, she said that she could find another one for me, but that I had to pay for the replacement. Do you have any idea how much one of these things costs? 1 month's salary, that's what! I suppose that's why I've been so distracted. I just can't stop thinking about that stupid uniform. And you know what's worse? This replacement is 1 size too small for me. It keeps riding up in the wrong places. Well, that is a problem. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't want that. I don't want that! I'm trying to go up the stairs. The game's like, nah, you don't want to go up the stairs. It's like, I definitely want to go up the stairs. This is a big boat, by the way. She refuses? I'm sorry, General. Your buyout offer for Yuan Kiki was more than generous, but the girl doesn't know what's good for her. Give me some time. I can convince her. Convince her? I am General Zhang Chao, commander of the Eastern Fleet. What manner of persuasion does she require? You have to understand. Kiki came to me only 2 months ago. I accepted her into this house because of her singular beauty, but she carries a dark past. She's chosen a life of excess and luxury to bury that darkness. Why bother with such a damaged flower? Well, thank you for saying she's a damaged flower, but okay. If the general desires a concubine, I have many younger, more willing flowers that... Younger? Because I know how old Kiki is, and she is 22, so younger just sounds gross. No, that will not do. It is precisely because of Kiki's maturity that I seek her company. I understand. Leave it to me, General. I will speak to her again. General Zhang Chao? Yes, who are you? My name's Di Renji. I am Her Majesty's newly appointed Magistrate of Chang'an. I see. Quite the resourceful inquisitor, aren't you? It seems you managed to invite yourself to our little private meeting. Are you here to arrest me? Only if I have cause to do so. In other words, give us cause! Well, I assume that such a gathering outside of Imperial walls must make the Empress anxious. But, in our defense, you should know that we assemble only to raise questions, not to rebel. You do not intend to overthrow her? I see you've succumbed to the rumors that have been circulating about me. And yet you ignore the murmurs surrounding our new Empress? By now, you've no doubt heard the stories about clandestine police forces and brutal retaliations. If Her Majesty intends to bend and break the rule of law to further her own agenda, her subjects will not stand for it, and neither will we. Do you have proof of this alleged abuse of power? Or this so-called secret police force? Or are your allegations based on nothing more than rumor? Tell me, young magistrate, did you come here to seek the truth or to listen to fairy tales? You don't have to answer that. I can see there is doubt in your eyes. You've come this far, don't close your eyes now. Find the truth for yourself. As for me, let me set the record straight. My goal, and that of the other patriots gathered here, is simply to stand as a check against Her Majesty's absolute power. And how did you intend to do that? By taking innocent lives and desecrating royal monuments? Don't be foolish. We do not manufacture crisis. We want accountability, not bloodshed. Certainly there are those who want Her Majesty ousted at any cost, but we have no dealings with those factions. If the Empress ever left the protective cocoon that is the royal palace, she would perhaps better understand the concerns of her loyal servants. Yet a trail of blood and murder has led me directly to you, General Zhang. Just hours ago, the wife of Lam Haifeng, the very man you've harassed for months, was found murdered. How do you explain that? Haifeng's wife murdered? I did not know. And you think I'm somehow involved in her death? Listen to me carefully, Magistrate D. I will not repeat myself on this matter. I would never... Ah! Did you hear that? I think it came from the dining room. General, wait. You stay here. I will have a look. Well, she looks distraught. Stop there! Who are you? Pardon the intrusion. I'm an investigating magistrate. My name is Di Renji. I don't understand. How did you get here so fast? That doesn't sound good. I'm on board the Paradise Cloud investigating a case. I was in the hallway just now when I heard a scream. That was me. I was so frightened. Cry. What happened? It's Yuan Kiki. I don't know exactly what happened. I was with her just a half an hour ago. She said she felt nauseous and needed some fresh air, so she came here to use the balcony. She wanted to be alone, so I made sure she wasn't disturbed. But when I came back to check on her... Heavens, all that blood! Cry. Well, this got even more crazy, didn't it? Wow. Hmm. Eh. Definitely a serial killer. Another one. The killer is speeding up? And on this ship with all of these people? Why take such a risk? I have to think. Clear my mind of all distractions. Yes, I need to start by gaining control of the situation. This boat needs to be secured. Madame, we need to speak. Cry. I'm sorry, what did you say? Wait, didn't you say you were here to investigate another case? What exactly were you talking about? At least she has a good memory, even though she's traumatized. I can't give you any details, but suffice it to say that other women have been victimized in a similar way. And they led you here? You believe they are connected to Kiki's death? Perhaps, but enough conjecture. Tell me about yourself. Do you own this establishment? Yes, I've been running the Paradise Cloud since my days as the Queen Flower. But those days are long gone. Nowadays, I am known only as Madame Ling. I've seen my fair share of cruelty and violence, but this is pure evil. How does one commit such a despicable act? Thoroughly. Tell me about Yuan Kiki. How did she come to work here? Kiki was my newest girl. And although I don't make a habit of taking in 22-year-olds with no experience or references, I knew when I met her that she was special. She was as smart as a whip and possessed a rugged beauty. In less than 2 months she had become one of my most popular girls. Even General Zhang couldn't resist her charms. She's been with you only 2 months? Do you know what she was doing before she came to you? Most of my girls have long histories of tragedy and disappointment, but I never made it a habit to pry. Kiki was no different. I gathered she came from difficult circumstances, but I could see strength in her. She was no wilting flower. Although she was a damaged flower according to you. What can you tell me about General Zhang? I've known Zhang Chao for many years, long before he became a general. He talks tough, but deep down he's just as needy as the rest of us. Heavens, I don't know how he will take this. He was fond of Yuan Kiki? You are quite well informed. Yes, he fell for her completely. It was unexpected, but I could see that it was genuine. I suppose it was just a matter of time until he offered to redeem her. But even I didn't think it would happen so fast. But Kiki's rejection was just as swift. Unlike many of the girls here, she never desired the life of a concubine. She was a free, untamable creature. Tell me about this banquet. General Zhang had been planning tonight's gathering for many months. A special banquet for his most powerful friends. Did you notice anything unusual about the proceedings? No, I don't recall any incidents. Wait! I don't know if this is of any consequence, but during our preparations earlier this evening, the wine waiter came to me complaining that he had lost his uniform. Luckily for him, we have spare outfits in storage, otherwise I would have demanded more than just a month's pay. Are all the guests accounted for? Yes, we checked the invitations carefully. Everyone on the guest list is on board. We asked all of them to stay in the reception hall until dinner is ready. You don't think one of the guests did this, do you? No. It's unlikely the high-profile individuals attending this party would expose themselves in such a way. Tell me about the Paradise Cloud. How many people work here? The Paradise Cloud is the most exclusive flower boat in the city. It isn't uncommon for us to play host to banquets such as this. For tonight, the entire team is on hand. That's 3 courtesans, a service staff of 5, and a small boat crew that works below deck. Who has access to the upper floors? Only myself, the courtesans, and a single wine waiter. We're very strict about who gets to come upstairs. After all, it wouldn't be appropriate for the kitchen staff or the boat crew to mingle with the guests. Thank you, Madame Ling. Now, I need you to do something for me. You must return to the reception hall, but you cannot let anyone know what happened. But won't people start to suspect something? Not if you play it right. All I need is for you to buy me some time and make sure no one leaves the ship. Can you do that? Yes, I think I can manage. Good. I also need you to ask your most senior staff member to go to the Justice Department and alert someone of what's happened here. Constables will be on their way, but until they arrive, I'm counting on you to keep things quiet so that Darn it, somebody did not spell check. So that I can start collecting evidence undisturbed. Have everyone gather on the main deck. No one is to enter the second floor. Yes, I understand. But what about General Zhang? Tell him to come in, but say nothing else. I will take care of the rest. Madame Ling says Yuan Kiki started working for her less than 2 months ago. That's around the same time Lam Haifeng met Xi Wenyin. And Zulin Fei. She also returned to live with her father about 2 months ago. It can't be just a coincidence. 3 women, seemingly unconnected, yet this thread links them together. Excuse me. Did they know each other? What were they doing before they came back? What's going on here? Why was Madame Ling so agitated? What happened? Is that... Kiki. No. Who did this? Why is she... General, please remain calm. Madame Ling just discovered her body. We don't know anything yet, but answers will come. For now, it is you I need answers from. Yep, give us all the answers. Before we were interrupted, you were about to tell me something about Lam Haifeng. What was it? I know who you work for. Therefore, I know what you think of me. But the Empress and her trusted commander have mistaken me for a common thug. I would never hurt Lam Haifeng or his family. His father and I fought side by side more times than I can count. He was a brother in arms, but also a dear friend. Did I try to coax him and his son to support my cause? Absolutely. Was I upset that Haifeng did not take up his father's mantle? Guilty as charged. But this business about me involved in his wife's death? It's absolute lunacy. If the Lam family means that much to you, then why intimidate Lam Haifeng? Did you not send someone to his house tonight? Yes, but only to convince him to reconsider his retirement and to join our ranks. He chooses to ignore it, but he has a destiny to fulfill. Traditions should not be forsaken. That stubborn young man should have followed in his father's footsteps, but instead he chose the embrace of an inconsequential woman. Okay. But anyway, moving on. But despite my disdain for his choices, he is still my godson. Dun, dun, dun! He and Haifeng are godfather and godson. Who would have thought? But anyway, back to the story. I would never put his well-being at risk. Lam Haifeng is your godson? Yes. And despite his constant rejection of my guidance, I will always see him as a son I never had. What was the nature of your relationship with Yuan Kiki? I still remember the first time Madame Ling introduced me to Kiki. Such raw beauty, intellect, and strength. She was a goddess amongst mortals. That's why you asked to redeem her? I suppose the news was bound to come out sooner or later. Yes, I had designs on buying her out and marrying her, but all that is but dust in the wind now. Promise me you will find her killer, Direnji. You must be close if you followed his trail all the way here. You must find him. What do you know about Madame Ling and her staff? Madame Ling and I have known each other for a very long time. She hosts the best banquets in the realm, and her courtesans, they are peerless. I believe these meetings to be secure. We checked everything. The staff, the guests, even the boat itself. But evidently, I was a fool. Do you know all the guests personally? Can you think of anyone with a motive to do this? What would one of these powerful men have to gain by killing a lowly courtesan? Well, so much about Kiki being this wonderful woman, right? On the contrary, they would have everything to lose. Besides, Kiki has only been working for Madame Ling a couple of months. I doubt any of these guests have even met her. Did you notice any suspicious activity tonight? Besides your unannounced arrival? No, I saw and heard nothing suspicious. Or maybe you did, but you didn't realize it was suspicious. Thank you, General. More constables will arrive on the scene shortly. In the meantime, all I ask is that you let me do my job. For your own sake, I hope you know what you are doing, Dee. Another rose. Baby, I've totally messed up the Seal song. 3 victims, 3 roses. This one is stained by the victim's blood. There are ligature marks around her neck, but they are dispersed up and down her throat. Shi Wenyan and Zhu Linfei both surrendered to the killer. It appears Yuan Kiki attempted to resist, and the force of her struggle created multiple abrasions. Once again, the killer has removed his victim's heart, but this time he seems to have acted hastily. The wound shows signs of imprecision and tearing. What caused him to lose focus? In her right hand, she's still holding on to something. It's a hairpin. Its tip is stained with blood. Bet you it's the killer's blood, and too bad DNA, yeah, too bad we can't do DNA analysis. Nothing of note there. Unlike the other women, Yuan Kiki chose to fight for her life. Her hairpin may have also wounded her assailant, causing him to rush through his murderous ritual. But what makes Kiki different from the other two? Okay, we got a glass bowl. This trail of blood starts at the doorway of the balcony. But its shape and pattern is distinctly different from the pool of blood surrounding Yuan Kiki. There's no doubt about it. Yuan Kiki was able to stab her assailant with her hairpin while he was strangling her. Though it was not enough to stop him, it caused him to lose a considerable amount of blood. Nothing to see here. Okay, let's save the game right here just in case. Because the last thing I need to do is have this game quit on me again. So, once again, until the boat crew has finished its repairs, please remain on the main deck. I promise the banquet will be worth the wait. She's doing what we said. It requires a key. Well, since I'm here, by the way, let's take this clear glass bowl, put water in it. I have no reason to do that now. Are you freaking kidding me? I have to wait. Oh my god, I have to wait till the gosh darn trigger? What's in here? There's a uniform in the basket. It's similar to the one worn by the wine waiter downstairs. The collar is bloodied. The killer must have taken it off and left it here before fleeing. Wait, there's something in the sleeve. It's a key. Bloodstains on the windowsill and on the ground. It looks like the killer made his escape through this window. So after stabbing her, the killer must have, like, climbed around the outside of the boat and then entered in that room to deliver this. Deliver the, suit. But this is getting crazy, right? This box contains a variety of cosmetic facial powders. If the killer stole or copied the key, he could have easily mixed in a toxic substance to induce nausea, causing Yuan Kiki to seek relief on the balcony. There's also a small piece of rolled up paper. That might actually work, but something's missing. Now we put the water in the bowl. If I fill the glass bowl with water, it can act as a magnifying lens. There. If I hold the bowl above the message, I should be able to see it more clearly. To my distant admirer, your prize is in the green lantern under the stars. Distant admirer? Is he referring to me? He knows I am on his trail. Strange. This text seems to have been printed on, not written by hand. Kind of like a fortune cookies paper, but then fortune cookies are not... They're American, so... like, and America is does not exist in this time yet, so I'm confused. What does he mean by green lantern under the stars? Anachronism! Which is something out of time, but I'm sure there's a perfectly understandable explanation as to why this message was printed on such a small scrap of paper that has nothing to do with time travel. Right. No time travel here. This all takes place in the now, which is was it Tang Dynasty? Wouldn't it be crazy though if time travel was a thing in this game? It's like, oh my goodness. D would not be able to handle himself. He'd be like, what? Especially since he probably speaks an older form of... What language is he speaking? Is he speaking an older form of Mandarin? Or is it Cantonese? I'm confused. Anyway, I don't know that much about China's history. The Green Lantern. Let's see what it holds. Green Lantern! It's making me think of the character from, what is it? DC Comics. There's a small piece of paper lodged at the bottom of the lantern. The shroud of power hides an evil beneath. Descend from thy tower, an empress in defeat. The empress? Is she his next target? I have to warn her. The empress is in danger. I have to go to the royal palace at once. Wait. Something's wrong. I feel dizzy. No! Don't kill off Debra and G this quick! Must be the candle smoke. Oh, hi, magical dear. The great detective asleep on the job? Outplayed by a murderous degenerate. What about the innocents? You will leave them on the field dead and deserted? The song is for you. Answer the call. Answer it! Okay, bye, mystical dear. I forgot her name, but yeah, this lady. You abandoned me! I was in limbo, afraid and alone. Now still, I cannot rest. The truth is staring at you, from atop the clouds, from within the golden gates, yet you see nothing. Do not turn away now. Save the rose that counts. Do not rest until it is done. It is time to wake up, Direnji. Go on, snap out of it. It's kind of creepy that we're being talked to by someone who... Calm herself? Wake up! Why won't you wake up? Come on, sir, you can do it. Wake up, Magistrate D. Is that you, Lieutenant Ma? Lieutenant Ma! It is! He's just best goals. Magistrate D, wake up, wake up! Yes, that's it. Take your time. And then he just pops up. Like, wasn't he just poisoned a second ago? I'm so glad you're all right, Magistrate D. You had me worried for a moment. The candle inside the Green Lantern must have been laced with some kind of poison. I should have been more cautious. After the messenger you sent came to the Justice Department, I made my way here as quickly as I could. Luckily, you must have just passed out when I arrived. When I saw the lantern next to you spewing that thick black smoke, I immediately threw it overboard. Thank you, Lieutenant Ma. You may have saved my life. But now you must carry on here without me. I don't understand. The Empress is in danger. The killer means to target her next. The Empress? But she's heavily guarded at all times. Unless she was to come out into the open, she's untouchable. All I know is that this killer has been one step ahead of us all along. I must warn the Empress that her life is in real jeopardy, however unlikely that may be. You came just in time. The Empress wanted to say a few prayers before retiring to her quarters. Okay. Your Majesty, I bring news from my investigation. Are you a religious man, Direnji? I suppose we all search for enlightenment in our own ways, Your Majesty. That doesn't answer the question, Dee. This temple, it means a great deal to me. Naturally, it upset me deeply when I heard that rebels had vandalized it. It is the one place where I feel safe, unburdened by this outside world, but now even this place has become a battleground. All my life, I've known what I wanted. I made one sacrifice after another to see my plans come to fruition. Yet for the first time, my path has become uncertain. I find myself questioning things I once took for granted. What does it mean to hold the mandate of heaven? What good is it to hold such power if those being ruled are blinded by lies and hatred? The hour is late, Direnji. What news do you bring me? I'm sorry to intrude at this hour, Your Highness, but the discoveries I've made tonight require immediate attention. 2 more women are dead. The first, Shi Wenyan, was killed in her home earlier this evening. Then only hours later, a woman named Yuan Kiki was killed on a flower boat, the Paradise Cloud. I have no doubt they both fell prey to the same man who killed Zhu Linfei, but I'm afraid this series of murders is leading to something bigger. Go on, tell me everything you know. Case reenactment! Case reenactment! Case reenactment! At first, General Zhang Chao's connections to Shi Wenyan and Yuan Kiki raised alarming questions. As my inquiry deepened, I found unexpected ties between him, Lam Haifeng, and each of these two women. But ultimately, what I learned dispelled any truth to the notion that he would have harmed them. The reason for that is, as your godfather, I forbid you to resign from your post and marry this girl. Wenyan will be my wife. I have no need for the advice of a hypocrite. Excuse me. I know about your infatuation with the Paradise Cloud's new courtesan. Very well. It is your future that you so willfully throw away. Despite his public rhetoric and chest beating, General Zhang was never a real threat. As was the case with most things he opposed, his objections were merely theatrical. Although his identity still eludes us, one thing is certain. The man behind these crimes is as cruel as he is cunning. Both Zhu Lunfei and Shi Wenyan experienced this cruelty firsthand, when they were forced to obey his commands. But unlike those two, he knew Yuan Kiki would not surrender willingly. His usual methods had to be replaced by a more direct approach. This is because by using the threat of harm to a loved one, the killer gained obedience from his first two victims. But without someone to threaten, he had no leverage over Yuan Kiki. Although she was eventually overcome by his surprise attack, the killer quickly learned that she was no docile prey. Ah! She stabbed him in the neck! Ew! The killer has been one step ahead of us since the beginning. Like captured pieces on a chessboard, who he strikes next is his calculated move. His three victims come from different backgrounds, live different lives, and knew different people. The question is, if we cannot know what connects them to the killer, perhaps we can find what connects them to each other. Then finally, a common thread materialized. The most important connection between the three women is it struck me that all three women had made a return from long absences around the same time. Did they know each other? What were they doing before they came back? I believe that if I can find out where they were and what they were doing prior to resurfacing 2 months ago, the killer will be within. Afterwards. We must act fast, Your Majesty. If tonight's events have convinced me of anything, it is that he is rapidly ratcheting up the stakes. Raising the stakes? How? His greater purpose has come into focus, Your Majesty. I believe he means to kill you next. Are you quite sure of that? I'm afraid so. I do not know how or when it will happen, but I do know Your Majesty's life is in danger. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, dear Renji, but from this point forward, I ask that you leave the rest to me. You are no longer to investigate this case. What the crap? I also have an idea of who might be the bad guy, though. Commander Ya will visit the Justice Department to gather all the evidence you've collected. Wait, I don't understand. I'm closing in on him. If I back off now, the trail will be lost. No. In the morning, you will forget that this case ever existed. You will not speak of it, and you will certainly not make any further inquiries into the matter. Is that understood? I don't speak your lingo. I suddenly do not speak the language. Why are you doing this? Does your majesty expect this loyal servant to ignore his own duties? There must be a reason. Tread carefully, Di Renji. Were they sitting up there the whole time? Those women will not be forgotten. How dare you question my authority? You will do as I say or face the consequences. As for my safety, you clearly have nothing to fear. Now go, before I change my mind. I think she's making a mistake. But I think this has something to do with her past. She doesn't want something... There's something about her past that she doesn't want us to know about. And if we kept investigating, we would hear about it. So, Chapter 3 of Sinners and Saviors. And we have like 19 more minutes left. So, let's go into Chapter 3. The next morning. I still can't believe what happened last night. I can't believe it either. And I've already played this part before. Why would the Empress end my involvement in the case? And how could she brush aside my warnings like that? By now, her men will have seized all the evidence we've collected on the case. But I can't give up now. I have to see this through to the end. He's gonna Nancy Drew it. Nancy Drew doesn't sit still in a case, and neither will Di Renji. Although technically, if we're going in terms of era and all that jazz, Di Renji is older than Nancy Drew. Although he was created after Nancy Drew. Time dilemma. Magistrate D, there you are. Have you heard? It's not even I heard. I saw. The Empress sent over Imperial guards in the middle of the night to confiscate all the evidence we had on the 3 unsolved murders. The notes, the roses, even the bodies. They took everything and ordered us to stand down. Why is Her Majesty doing this? Knowingly or unknowingly, it seems the Empress is somehow connected to all of this. We need to find out how. But our orders! We're supposed to stop the investigation. I can't stop now. There is too much at stake. I will perform my duties and face the consequences. Come what may, justice will prevail. Proud of you, Di Renji. I'm with you, Magistrate D. We love you, Lieutenant Ma! Well, I love him anyway. I don't know about you guys, but I love Lieutenant Ma. You're a good man, Lieutenant Ma. I'm grateful to have you on my side, but we'll need to work discreetly. Of course, sir. You can rely on me. Actually, something I've been meaning to tell you. When the Imperial Guards came to take the evidence, they sort of left something behind. Or, to be more accurate, I kept something from them. What do you mean? You see, when we finished gathering all the evidence on the flower boat last night, I had the sudden urge to make copies of the killer's unknown markings. You mean the pair of strange symbols on each of the notes he left behind? Yes, exactly. At first I wasn't sure why, but those symbols somehow seemed familiar. Then it occurred to me. When I was a boy, my grandmother once showed me a poem that she had written as a young woman. As she read it to me, I stared at the wrinkled piece of paper in her hands with a confused expression. The characters I saw were nothing like those I had learned in school. My grandmother passed away that winter. Regrettably, I never had a chance to ask her about the origin of those mysterious symbols, nor did I ever see that poem again. I know this may sound strange, but the symbols on the killer's notes, they remind me of the symbols in my grandmother's poem. Here, you can have the copies I made. And a question, did his grandmother die of natural causes? That's very interesting. Tell me more about your grandmother. My grandmother grew up in a small rural town in the province of Jiangnan. Although she endured a hard country life, she always had a delightful sense of humor that could light up a room. And despite her rural upbringing, she was able to write poetry? I suppose that's a bit strange, isn't it? I never really questioned it, but I suppose she must have picked up some language skills as an adult. She was a very smart woman. I wouldn't be surprised if she learned to read and write on her own. What are your thoughts on the case? I'm at a loss, sir. On the one hand, we are tasked to apprehend a savage killer, and on the other, we are subservient to the whims of the imperial court. Where is the line that separates loyalty and blind servitude? How can we walk it and still serve the cause of justice? I'm going to go with this one. With great power comes great responsibility. Those in a position of power like you and me must treat that power with respect. It is our responsibility to wield whatever authority we have with care and diligence. If we can do this, then we may accomplish a great many things. Thank you, Magistrate D. For a moment there, I thought life as a lowly official in the countryside may have suited me better, but you've given me a renewed sense of purpose and confidence. Thank you, Lieutenant Ma. Whatever you need, sir. He's still busy? Hey, Corner Yao. Who is not in any way related to Commander Yao. Corner Yao, you wanted a word with me? You're damn right we're gonna have a word. In all my years at this job, I've not once had my dead subjects removed from my care. What did you do to incite such fury from the Empress? I only did my job. Well, either you are really bad or really good at it, because I've never seen anything like this. Such a mess. It's an all big, awful mess. Corner Yao, is something else bothering you? You seem troubled. 2 years. 2 years she cast me aside. Then last night she suddenly reappears. For a fleeting moment I thought everything was going to be all right. But I was foolish. She could never forgive me. No matter, I'm fine. I'm doing just fine. In case, that's all that matters now. Tell me, Dirinji, will you continue to investigate this case, or would you rather cower to obscurity? I think you and I have more in common than you think. As long as I'm an investigating magistrate, I will continue to seek justice for those in need. I couldn't have said it better myself. Now, how can I help you? What are your thoughts on the case? You have my full support. Whatever you choose to do. I'm a has-been and never was. They can't hurt me. But remember, be careful who you choose as your enemy. This town's not for the faint of heart. It doesn't take a genius to know something fishy is going on. But perhaps you're just the right man to find out what that something is. It's my privilege to have you as an ally, Corner Yao. Were you able to conduct full autopsies on the 2 victims last night? I certainly did. But alas, my findings only confirm what we already knew. Shi Wenyan was killed in the same manner as Zhu Linfei while Yuan Kiki tried to fight off her assailant. However, I did find something else. Here, this was tangled up in Yuan Kiki's hair. It's a flower petal of some sort. I didn't think Her Majesty would mind us keeping such a small and insignificant item. A petal? This must have fallen off the rose that the killer left behind. It certainly looks like it, but there's more. Take a closer look at it. Can you see, or rather feel, something different about it? You're right. Despite its appearance, it doesn't feel like the flesh of a real rose petal. Why didn't I notice this before? The stems must have been real, but the petals are man-made. If, like everyone else, you were holding the stems to inspect those roses, you would have missed it. Yes, of course. This material resembles silk, but it's firm and soft at the same time. I've never seen silk like this before. Neither have I, but I may know someone who has. In the central market, there is a silk merchant named Ging Wan. No one knows more about silk than he does. You should pay him a visit. Who did you encounter last night? That's none of your business! Thank you, Corner Yao. Okay, so we have about 10 minutes. Chapter 2 was relatively short. Actually, I want to check out the prison. Do you have anybody in lockup? No. Aw. What a tease, man. He freaking teased me. He freaking teased me. Okay. We have 2 destinations. We need to go to... Oh. Go back to the Justice Department. I forgot to look at the note. Man-made rose petal. This material is used as reminiscent of silk. If the killer acquired this fabric somewhere, I may be able to trace its purchase back to him. Coroner Yao said I should speak to a silk merchant named Ging Wan in the Central Market. Lieutenant Ma carefully copied down the killer's mysterious markings. Based on his story about his grandmother's poem, these could be characters that belong to a larger writing system, perhaps one lost to time or created in secret. I need to do some research. I should pay a visit to the Imperial Library. Now we can go to the library. So Kong Mingpu and Kong Mintao. Well, isn't it our favorite academician? Di Rinji. Look at its cap, you imbecile. That's a magistrate you're addressing. I knew that. I was just reminiscing with our friend about the good old days. It seems you've done well for yourself since your days as a studious imperial scholar, young magistrate. As my father used to say, luck favors the prepared. And prepared you did. I remember you spending all those long nights studying away in the lonely corners of this library. You were a true bookworm. Those are fond memories. Well then, it was nice to see you again, Di Rinji, or should I say, Your Excellency. But now, if you excuse us, we have some pressing business to attend to. But see you later. Actually, I was hoping you could help me find a book on the subject of lost or secret writing systems. I'm sorry, we can't help you at the moment. We're working on solving something very important. More important than what I'm doing? Ha! Like you're anywhere close to finding the answer. I bet I'm closer than you. Don't make me come over there and teach you some manners, little brother. You don't scare me. You haven't scared me since you stopped growing at the age of 12. Ooh, those are fighting words. Wow, you little... Enough. What in the world is going on here? Why are you two bickering like little children? It's a stupid challenge. We've been stuck on it all morning. It's so infuriating. A challenge? Our colleague from the Ministry of Public Works came by this morning to issue a challenge. Yeah, real pompous note at all that, Bo-May. You see, we've got a sort of friendly competition going between the ministries. Every week, we take turns challenging each other to different intellectual exercises. This week, it was Bo's turn to come up with a challenge. And boy, did he ever. We've been racking our brains on this one all morning. So you see, we'd love to help you, but our reputations are on the line. Besides, our minds are just too preoccupied at the moment. In that case, perhaps I can offer you some assistance. Will you help me if I can solve the challenge? I suppose that would be acceptable. Yes, why not? Di Rinji spends so much time here, he's practically one of us. It's settled then. Let me help you, and you will be free to help me. Great, let's begin. Beaumay gave us 2 riddles, each one rewarding a single word. He said that the title of one of the books in this room contains both words. That's right. All we have to do is solve the 2 riddles and we'll know the name of the book. He said that the correct book has a signed bookmark inside it. We retrieve the bookmark, we win the challenge. Riddle number 1 goes like this. I once stood for more, but the flames ripped through and through. Now I am but a pile. Do you wish to say I miss you? Riddle number 2 goes like this. I am in the air. I am everywhere. If you let me be, then you might just see me. If you push me away, I'll go, but return someday. My brother and I have managed to write down some possible answers on the scroll in front of you. We're quite certain the correct answers are in this list. Just use the scroll to point out the 2 correct words. If a book with those words in the title exists, we'll tell you where to find it. We're counting on you, D-Rin-G. Okay. So, in the recording that didn't happen, I actually cheated to figure out the answer, so we're just going to make this quick. Ash and dust. Of course! Ash is the answer to the first riddle, and dust is the answer to the second. Wait, I know the book! It must be Portraits of Ash and Dust. It's a collection of melancholy poems by various writers. Surely that's the one. You can find it in bookcase number 3 right behind us. Which one's bookcase number 3? Oh. Minku says it. Okay, this is bookcase number 3. These bookcases are marked by a number. This one is bookcase number 3. Found the bookmark. Wait, why didn't they just get the bookmark? Why did I have to get it? There it is! Beaumay's bookmark! We've beaten you now, you rascal! And all thanks to our favorite visitor, D-Rin-G. I'm glad I could help. Now on to some pressing business of my own. I'm conducting some research on lost or secret writing systems. Do you know of any books on the subject? Lost or secret writing systems, you say? I know of only one book that discusses that topic, but... Oh, that book! The one you let that woman steal from right under your nose. Oh, I ain't let no such thing happen. She has to borrow it for a little while, and I obliged. You're turning red just thinking about her, aren't you? You know it's against the rules to let outsiders take anything from this library. But all it takes is a wink and a smile from a pretty girl, and you've forgot your last name. I'll have you know, she told me where to find her. I just haven't had the chance to go down that way, that's all. So you have a name and an address, then? Yes, I knew. Yes, I do. Her name is Jing Yali. She sells flowers down at the Central Market. Wait, you mean to tell me you've known where to find her all this time and you did nothing? I'm with him on that one. Oh, brother, I have to take you out more often. I'm detecting a fair amount of friction between the two of you. Has something come between you? I worry about him. He just turned 30 and he's still single with not a prospect in sight. That doesn't mean you have to rub it in my face every chance you get. I tire of your constant reminders. Did you know my big brother has a wife, a first, a second, and a third concubine? How about his 6 beautiful children? Have you heard all the adorable tales about them? If you haven't, all you have to do is spend 10 minutes with him and he'll tell you all about his perfect family. So he has 4 women and 6 children? My dear little brother, I never meant to offend you. I was just trying to tell you about my family so you could see how worthwhile it is to pursue one of your own. I'm sorry if I was insensitive about it. I only meant to help. It's not your fault.
This bitterness I feel should not be directed at you. I should be happy for you. I'm sorry, brother. Please forgive my inadequacies. It seems you two care for each other very much. Now, perhaps if you could each control your tempers a bit better. Ha! Just like the good old days. Didn't I tell you, Ming-Pu? That Brother D is just as witty as I remember him. You can say that again. Thank you. You've both been very helpful. Come back soon, D-Ren-G. Your company is always welcome. Okay. Let's go to the map. So it was a good thing that I came over here. We're going to go to the central market, and then we're going to end the game right here. So we need to find the... Okay. Let's save the game. Ooh, I love the music for this one. But anyway, I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you wonderful people on Twitch, that is, on Friday. Bye, peeps!